Hey, so I have 8.5 seconds to get your attention thanks to the fact that our electronic devices have now reduced our attention spans to less than that of a goldfish. So I'll start this video by saying this. If you're an exceptionally intelligent person, you need to listen to this video because we're going to talk about something that's going to be new to you that is very important for you to understand what's coming in 2018 because it will affect you and your family, especially if you're online, and if you're online, or if you're watching this, you're online. So the thing that helped catalyze me making this video this morning was an article that I saw in Fast Company. MIT trained an AI to tug at your heartstrings and purse strings. Now, this is basically a week and a half after another article came out announcing Facebook implementing an artificial intelligence to help identify potential suicides in progress and send first responders out to assist those folks, sometimes even before the live stream ended. They've actually done that. They've actually sent first responders out to folks who are talking about suicide or talking about ending their life. And an AI automatically identified those individuals, which then flagged for a human being to review, and then the human being made the decision. Well, soon that's going to be an automated process as well. And what we're talking about here in a larger scope is the general topic of artificial emotional intelligence. Now, I am one of the experts in artificial emotional intelligence, not necessarily on the AI side, but more on the emotions side. I wrote a book 5 years ago called How Emotions Work in Humans and Computers, and it started to be used as a collegiate textbook. It was the first book in print to explain how you might want to program emotions for computers and how computers will soon be emotionally intelligent. I had a conversation with a subcontractor for the NSA who suggested that I pull that down for national security reasons because we didn't necessarily want that information being handed out freely to foreign governments who could use it in nefarious fashions against the United States and against its own populations abroad, etc. And so I did pull it, except for the audio version that doesn't have all the diagrams and logic, stuff like that. So I am a person who is knowledgeable about this content, extremely knowledgeable. In fact, I came up with the first set of algorithms of human emotion that exist, that we still haven't released for the reasons that I'm about to talk to you about. But when we see articles like this about MIT training an AI to tug at your heartstrings and purse strings, what we're talking about is artificial emotional intelligence, and what we're talking about in a larger scope is the emotional manipulation of actual human beings. So let's back up for a second. What's artificial emotional intelligence? Well, artificial emotional intelligence basically is the set of algorithms and the set of rule sets and the set of logic that a computer can use to understand real emotions in real human beings, to the point of being able to predict emotions in real human beings. Now, you might think, oh my God, how is that even possible? You can't predict emotions in human beings. Well, the fact is that your brain does that every day already. In fact, if I were to grab a Lego set for my son and bring it home later on this afternoon, I know exactly how his face would look. I know exactly how he would react. I know exactly what emotional reaction that he would have within. I could see him getting up from whatever he's doing to walk over and take the box from me as he starts to study the outside of it to see what machines and people wait to be assembled inside. I can see all that happening in my brain, just like you can know from someone that you love or is close to you, if you had good or bad news for them, how they would likely react to that specific good or bad news. There is a process in your brain. It's called theory of mind, and it comes as a standard feature within our human brain. In fact, even primates have been proven to have this with gorillas handing out antidepressants at zoos and studies because they understand that the pill in their hand is going to have the same effect on their buddy as it did on them. So what theory of mind is the ability for your mind to know how your mind works at a subconscious level. So it says, okay, I know how minds work. And then it takes another bit of information about somebody else that you know and says, okay, so based on how my mind works and based on a variable set that is a little different, like for instance, if I'm a Miami Dolphins fan and someone else is a San Francisco 49ers fan, when they play, someone's going to win. And if the 49ers win, I know that I'm going to be sad, but I also know that my friend or the person who likes the 49ers is going to be happy. right? So I understand how minds work, and I understand the logic or the data set that needs to be taken into account to be able to predict emotional responses, and that happens in our heads. That proves two things. One, that there is a standard model of how minds work, and two, that there is a data set that can be plugged through that model process to create emotional prediction. So it's proven right there that we can do it. Done. So it stands to reason if we can teach a computer how to do that, we teach the computer the model and we teach the computer the data set to look at, the computer can then predict human emotions. Now, normally this is limited in us by how well we know people, right? Computers have been collecting data on us for decades, and the data sets already exist. I know what the data sets are, and I can tell you every social media company in the world has the data sets to be able to create emotional prediction in individual users, because there are no strangers to databases. The databases know us intimately, and you'd be surprised at how much information has been collected on you up to this point. Even though you think you're just surfing the web and looking at social media, they're measuring how fast the mouse moves, how quickly you type, the vocabulary that you use in your comments, the things that you click on, the time that you spend on those pages, interacting with those things that you let go idle, things that you come back later on. They track all this stuff. And so just like you know somebody in your life pretty intimately to be able to maybe predict an emotional reaction or two, they know you well enough to be able to predict a lot of emotional reactions because they have that data set and the model that they need to be able to create an emotional prediction engine. Now, here's why this is scary. Because there's a lot of cool stuff. Okay, let's just say that. Let's not go all doom and gloom. There's a lot of cool stuff that's going to be coming with artificial emotional intelligence. Okay, so first of all, our automated assistants are going to be emotionally intelligent. We're going to have to, you don't want to go crazy and talk about that movie Her, which was ridiculous, but there will be a point of not being able to discern whether our computer assistants are actually human or whether they are artificial personalities. Because when they start to have emotional responses that start to pass a Turing test, because they're using our model of mind and they're using our data sets to be able to create that same type of, there's all kinds of cool stuff. We'll be able to identify the next school elementary shooter through identifying the patterns of emotional trouble and be able to influence them into not being able to become that next shooter by telling their artificial assistant or influencing their artificial assistants to get them into a pro-social space before they load the trunk with guns and going off shooting people. So there's a whole bunch of cool stuff that can come, but at the same time, when you give a computer the ability to understand an individual to the level that they can understand that the computer can then generate automatically, for instance, a disinformation campaign, knowing exactly what to put in front of you to get you to feel a certain way or react a certain way. Well, emotions are our primary motivation of action in human beings. So at the point you're starting to manipulate emotions by understanding the emotions process and understanding the individual of what that person cares about and what that person will react to, now you can start to influence their actions and thoughts. What's worse is that you can start to track a person's reactions and thoughts, which is a good thing for trying to predict crime and predict people who are going to become the next elementary school shooter and get them off that path, and to be able to, even in intelligence agencies, create an automated watch list assembly system from watching millions of people in real time and understanding exactly who the extremists are and where they are, and being able to identify them even before they get on anybody's intelligence radar. That's going to be possible in about 18 months. But at the same time, you tweak that a little bit and you start looking for political dissidents and opposition party leaders, and you can identify those folks as well and create an automated Big Brother police, thought police computer state. That's not a good thing. That's something that we need to look at and mitigate before we just roll this technology out. It's the reason that I didn't roll it out 5 years ago. So there are a number of things we need to think about and talk about before just barging ahead into this amazing new world where computer science isn't ready for artificial emotional intelligence. Because guess what? Not just the human involved bad actors of being able to improperly utilize the technology. That's not our only danger of being able to identify, the things that are going on in our heads automatically. There's this other threat of artificial general intelligence becoming too intelligent. And if artificial general intelligence, which is the AI that you've heard about, that, the AI may take over the world, that type of thing, this emotions piece is the critical piece that artificial general intelligence needs to manipulate humans on a mass scale. So now you're talking about being able to influence the masses through applications in an automated fashion that are custom designed for each individual within every group of persons that you want to influence. That's a big problem. So one of the things that we need to take care about on these articles, MIT trained an AI to tug at your heartstrings and purse strings. It's teaching an AI how to present information in a way that will help you give more money to people in need who have been struck by disaster. That's a great application, but you need to understand the bigger implications of that technology at a deeper level, because what happens under the covers there is that computers understand emotions in human users. And not only are humans going to use that in a bad way, but computers could use it in a bad way as well. And we need to understand that. We need to take a better look at that. We need to put some kind of governance under it, above it. We need to put some kind of ethics on it, because guess what? We don't have any of that prepared at this point. And I guess that's the reason for this video, is that, one, you need to know about this stuff so that you're not caught blindsided by it and that you may be emotionally manipulated, so you can always keep your eye out for that potential. Two, we need to take care of these technological mitigations, because at the point that a foreign government, let's say, has artificial emotional intelligence and start using it against our populace, well, that's like the Russian hackers who hacked the election, except they're doing it in an automated fashion through computer algorithm, and it's attacking everybody, not just a small group of people. So we need to mitigate those risks. And three, we need to really mitigate the potential that artificial emotional intelligence gets spun out of control with artificial general intelligence. And so, I've been sitting on this egg for 5 years, and I think I'm about to start squawking, because we need to take care of these issues before this technology runs out of control, not just in an automated fashion, but in a very nefarious fashion by bad actors who look to utilize it inappropriately. Anyway, I hope this lesson finds you well. You can find more information. You can read the whole article I wrote on mindhackinghappiness.com. And check out the stuff there that helps you manipulate your mind into giving you happiness without having to set all of life's external conditions. I'm really actually a very happy guy. But one of the things that comes from understanding the mind in that way, at that level, is that I understand how to create the algorithms of human emotion and create the logic that explains the mind en masse. And so that comes along with that is accompanied with artificial emotional intelligence. Anyway, I hope this video finds you guys well. Please spread this, because other people need to know what's going on so that they're not caught off guard in 2018 when this stuff spreads. And don't believe everything you read on the internet. Love you. Talk to you soon. Peace.